Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 231 Yin Jushuan's Killing Intent. Secret Arts. Xiao Yan was stunned. He heard from Jade Fairy that the Yin and Yang scroll was a famous saint-level cultivation technique that had been passed down for a long time. Even though it was divided into two parts, the secret arts on the scroll and the Yin scroll would make countless people jealous. He did not expect Jade Fairy to have mastered a few of the secret arts in the Yin scroll. That great Yin spirit arts is only the 6th-ranked secret arts in the Yin scroll. The strongest secret arts I know is the great Yin burial technique, which is ranked 3rd. Jade Fairy had a smile on her pretty face. She looked at Xiao Yan and said in a soft voice, "If you want to learn it, I can consider it on the account of you getting the white jade spirit lotus back for me." As she spoke, Jade Fairy let out a light laugh and walked towards Medicine Pavilion, surrounded by a few maids. Xiao Yan was slightly startled, then followed closely with doubt in his eyes. According to Jade Fairy, the secret arts in the Yin and Yang scroll complemented each other. Only when Yin and Yang merged could the most powerful force be unleashed. When it was pushed forward, all the cultivation techniques of monarch skills in this world is same. It could damage the Yin and damage the Yang to make up for it. Yin and Yang interconnected, that was the essence of this world. Although Xiao Yan sounded puzzled about these things, but the most obvious of all is a few points. The monarch skill that he had mastered, whether it was the 8-directional thunder ruler or the monarch flame secret skill, were both aggressive and positive. Although it was powerful, it lacked a certain amount of feminine force. If he added it in, the power of these techniques would definitely be much stronger. Thinking of this, Xiao Yan couldn't help but scratch his head. He was confused about all these and didn't know what to pay attention to. He scratched his head and looked forward. When he saw Jade Fairy's exquisite figure in front of him, he suddenly had a thought. Perhaps, this overly charming woman should know some things. Profound Yin sect. Yin Jushuan had no choice but to give the white jade spirit lotus to Xiao Yan. He was filled with anger. However, he was also a famous hero in star-severing mountain range. His facial expression kept smiling when he saw off the many experts. It was not until he returned to Profound Yin sect that his stomach exploded with anger. That bitch, she actually used this kind of method to tease our sect. Yin Jushuan sat on the sandalwood chair. His eyes seemed to be on the verge of spitting fire. He gritted his teeth and spoke word by word. A fierce aura spread out, causing the entire hall to be filled with an oppressive feeling. The other elders of Profound Yin sect in the hall didn't dare to touch Yin Jushuan at this moment. All of them had their eyes closed, and no one knew what they were thinking. Go and investigate. We must find out who that brat is, and how he dared to ruin our sect's good fortune. Our sect will tear him to pieces. A slap landed on the table, causing the table to instantly shatter into pieces. Yin Jushuan was almost shouting out loud. The veins on his usually calm and dignified face were bulging, and his muscles were trembling. The few elite disciples of the Profound Yin sect outside the door didn't dare show any neglect. They hastily complied and left the place as if they had just been pardoned from death. Yin Jushuan's Emperor cultivation key was too frightening. They were merely the disciples of the Emperor, they couldn't resist it at all. Report to the sect chief. While Yin Jushuan was in a fit of rage, a young disciple suddenly came in from outside the door. He looked at the furious Yin Jushuan and his face turned pale. He knelt down on one knee with a trembling voice. Speak. Yin Jushuan was like a furious lion at this moment. He looked coldly at the newcomer and recognized that he was one of the disciples who followed Yin Kang. He suppressed the anger in his heart and said in a cold voice. The young disciple swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He cupped his fists and said, Young Master said that he had gained some insights other than the great Yin spirit arts when he fought Xiao Yan. Therefore, he wanted to go into seclusion for a few months. Yin Jushuan and the others in the hall were stunned after hearing what the young man said. After that, Yin Jushuan was overjoyed. He laughed and said, Great. My son is truly a genius. There are many secret arts in the great Yin spirit arts, and even the sect masters of Profound Yin sect haven't fully comprehended it yet. But, my son has already comprehended it beyond the great Yin spirit arts. Upon hearing Yin Jushuan's words, many of the elders in the hall felt ashamed. Many of them were cultivating the great Yin spirit arts, but even after decades of cultivation, they still hadn't fully comprehended 2/3 of it. However, Yin Kang had already surpassed them a long time ago. After the shame, everyone was filled with mixed emotions. The profound Yin sect was able to produce such a powerful weapon. It was their greatest fortune to have such a genius. Alright, go and tell him to focus on his cultivation. He doesn't need to worry about anything else. Yin Jushuan was also in a good mood right now. He waved his hand and said with a loud voice. The young man didn't leave when he heard this. He hesitated for a moment, then said in a low voice, young master also said. What else did he say? Yin Jushuan was smiling. He sat on the sandalwood chair. The fierce aura from before had disappeared. Young master said that Xiao Yan is going to the Yunluo Academy. His big brother Lin Dao is also in the Yunluo Academy. He had asked Xiao Yan to pass a message to Lin Dao, so. Young master, please don't do anything to Xiao Yan. The young man tried his best to speak the words Yin Kang had said to him in a euphemistic manner. Hong. Yin Jushuan, who was standing in front of him, instantly unleashed a shocking ki. Before the young man could react, he was knocked over by the ki and was sent flying backwards. He crashed into a pillar in the hall and fainted from the pain. Yin Jushuan's face was cold and his eyes were filled with anger. Anyone could tell how angry the sect chief of Profound Yin sect was. He really is my son. Yin Jushuan's facial expression was ferocious. He gritted his teeth and squeezed these words out from the gaps between his teeth. His eyes were filled with fury. You're asking me to do this? Humph, I think you're asking me to do this. This little brat, does he really think that no one in the Profound Yin sect can cure him after comprehending the great Yin spirit arts? Yin Jushuan's eyes turned red as he roared. As a father and the sect chief, his dignity had been severely challenged. How could he accept this? Sect chief, please calm down. Young master has an extraordinary talent, and his future potential is immeasurable. Whether or not Profound Yin sect can prosper depends entirely on young master. Looking at Yin Jushuan's current state, the gray-robed elder at the top let out a long sigh. He stood up and said in a low voice. He had no way to deal with this unruly young master. Seeing Yin Jushuan looking at him with a fierce gaze, the gray-robed old man let out a bitter laugh in his heart. After pondering for a moment, he cupped his fists and said, you know young master's temperament. Respect the strong of his same age, but despise the weak of the same age even more. Since young master has already acknowledged Xiao Yan, why not let him go? With young master's relationship with him, perhaps he will become a great help to our Profound Yin sect in the future. After hearing the gray-robed elder's words, the expressions of the other elders in the hall changed. Immediately, their eyes revealed a joyful expression. Young master and Xiao Yan were both heaven-warping geniuses. Furthermore, they were the sect chief's good friends with Jade Fairy's subordinates. If they could build a good relationship with Xiao Yan, when they grew up, they would definitely be outstanding geniuses of their respective fields. At that time, the Profound Yin sect would definitely have the strength of a first-rate sect in the Ascendant Star domain. Unlike the other elders, Yin Jushuan's expression was cold and gloomy. He was the only one who knew about Jade Fairy's matter in the entire Profound Yin sect. Everyone else thought that he and Jade Fairy were husband and wife. If the white jade spirit lotus was still in his hands, the gray-robed elder's words might not be a bad suggestion. However, since Jade Fairy had gotten the white jade spirit lotus, there would definitely be a life and death battle between them. Yin Jushuan looked coldly at the elders in the hall. Everyone had joyful expressions on their faces. Yin Jushuan let out a helpless roar in his heart, but he also knew that he had no reason to refute the gray-robed old man. Nodding his head, Yin Jushuan forced a smile onto his face. He had agreed, but in his heart, his fury was soaring to the sky. All the elders of Profound Yin sect. It could be said that they were unreliable. In that case, Hong Long, if that Xiao Yan knew what was going on, he could stay. However, Jade Fairy had to die. If she recovered her original strength, with that woman's talent, at that time, he would die without a burial ground. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.